questions. We're looking for a question from Denmark. How can we use that way to perceive with the sense? Okay. Giuseppe, please explain it a little bit more. It says, in our advantage to find love, how can we use that way to perceive with the senses? I'm not sure if I can understand it, but perhaps I try, because I think perhaps you're trying to see, maybe you're talking about how you perceive things, and why is it that when you see something you don't really see it, and instead you're perceiving it. Well, this is what happens to most of us. As when you look at something, for a moment when you recognize that something, for example, you see an orange tree, and from the distance you see a tree and you recognize it's a tree, so far so good, you're with the tree. And then you go a little closer, you see it's an orange tree, so far so good, you recognize it's an orange tree. And so far you're one with the happening of life. You're at the now, at the present moment, because you are now interacting with something that you are seeing is as that thing is. But what happens is, as soon as you see and recognize it's an orange tree, by the time your eyes actually hits the orange tree and you recognize it's a tree with oranges on, suddenly, because of the fact that you have so much of this different kind of situations as an information stored in your memory, you start now comparing what you're seeing with some orange tree that you saw in your auntie's place, or some garden, or some orchard, or somewhere else. And suddenly you are now comparing this orange tree with that other orange tree, or this orange with that other orange, which is now as a memory in your consciousness. And you're thinking about, well, this is not as yellow as that one, and that one was bigger, and now you're focusing on how that one was, and that takes you away from what day it was, where you were, that tree was, and so you're no longer at the present moment, because just by perceiving instead of observing what it is, you happen to no longer be here, because in your thoughts you have gone back in time. By remembering, perceiving that other orange tree which took you somewhere else with some other happenings that you have a memory of, suddenly you're no longer, while your physical being is here, you're no longer in the same time frame as your physical being is standing, and you are now traveled in time. And you are not seeing this orange tree anymore. You're not making any kind of a contact or interaction with this anymore. Instead, you're in your memory, in your thoughts, and you're thinking about a different orange tree, different orange, and somewhere else you are, which is no longer in the now. And that's how you lose the reality of life, and the life that we mostly think of it as our life is really spent in perceiving things that we see in our memories, which turns the life that we think of it is the death of the past. Because when we are in the memory is the past, nothing exists in the memory, everything is dead, it's just recording. And when you see the orange tree, yet you travel because of it and perceive it in somewhere in your memory, and then you're no longer here, you're in the past, and therefore you've lost the chance of interacting with the actuality of life, and you've lost the chance to learn something new, and you're now living in your memory. So your life as you know it is turned into death of the past, because you are there trying to figure out and compare what that was. So these seems to be a trigger for you to go somewhere else in your memory. Don't let beautiful things in life to become a trigger to take you in the past and take you to a dead life, which is the memory, and be occupied with that. Never be able to become one and interact with the life as it's happening. As we talked about, life is, you can think of it as a stream, a river coming from the mountain on your left and flowing towards you, and then passing by you, and then leaving you to the right. Now, the part of the water of the river that has not arrived to you, is on its way coming from the mountain, that's your future. Hasn't arrived yet. So no sense of constantly trying to figure out what it is. Where is it going to be? What is it going to be? What does it contain? It's not here. You have no access to it. You have no control. You can't interact with it. So might as well, it's useless to be wondering about it. The water that has passed you by, it's your past. It's already come and gone. There is nothing you can do about it. You have no access to it. You cannot reach it. You cannot change anything. So it's useless and waste of time to try to figure that how I can change that, or is there anything else, or roam around into there while you have no access to it, and that's gone. It's death. It's gone, not existence. But the water that is passing by you right in front of your feet, that's the water that you can interact with. You can fish in it, or you can reach in it, see what's in there. Maybe it's something good, maybe a piece of gold, maybe a debris, maybe whatever it is, maybe wash your hands or your feet. Something that can have a reaction to you, and you can have a reaction to it as it is at that moment. That's your now. That's your present time. That's your present life. That's where most of your focus and your efforts should be, to build something, to change something. As I'm talking right now, this is my reality. This is the now. That I can change this word that is coming out of my mouth. I can change it now. Once I've said it, it's the part of the river that is gone. I cannot take it back. So my actions. And the things that I haven't said yet, it hasn't come out yet. So I'm not even thinking about it at this very moment as much as I'm thinking about what I am discussing rather than what I will be discussing tomorrow. It's the water that hasn't arrived to me yet. So I shouldn't be really focusing on that at this time. I should be focusing on this water that is passing by, how I can make it become useful to me and to the others in this world, how I can be having activities that could help others to grow and become more prosperous, or help myself to negotiate life in a better way. This is the moment. That's why we should always focus on the present moment. We should focus on the orange tree that we're looking at. What is that all about? Not letting it be a trigger to take us to some other memory of an orange tree and missing the opportunity to actually take an orange, take it, look at it, smell it, and enjoy it, and think about this moment, which is the interaction and involvement with the now, with the present moment, with the flow of energy, with the flow of life, with creation of life, not the life that is gone and dead, not the life that hasn't come yet, that the moment, the present moment. Present moment is your past and is your future. Why? Because the present moment is based on the activities and the things that you learned and you thought of it, and that brought an action, experience, and knowledge, and so on. And those have brought you here. Based on those actions, you end up here. And what you do now is actually what is going to create your consciousness. Your actions based on your consciousness, which was the past, will create your thoughts, which is from your consciousness, which is based on the past, will create a new action, new experience, new knowledge. New knowledge adds to your consciousness, which in the future you will have a thought of it. So really, your future thoughts, which is your future action, which your future experience and knowledge, which adds to your consciousness, is based on your action of today. My action of my thought of today based on the content of the consciousness which was put together in the past. So I think of something, then based on that thought, I make an action and experience and knowledge adds to my consciousness. And based on what I did today, then tomorrow I have a thought. And that thought, action, experience, and knowledge. So my tomorrow is because of today. My today is because of then. So today, the present moment, is what my past and future all is now. If you understand that, then you understand the importance of becoming active with the now, with the present moment. Forget about what was and forget about what may be. You can plan on it, do your best, but it's all happening at this very moment. And this is the safest moment in life. You have no control of what's gone, and you have no control of what it may be. But you have as much control as you can have in the now, because now is made out of lots of little moments. And those little moments are so short enough there could be no danger for you in that very moment. See, that one moment passed, that one moment passed. So all these little moments seems to be my interaction with the now, and fully focused and paying attention to the present moment. So I'm fully interacting with the life as it's happening, because I'm with it. Rather than my mind, which is the entirety of me, which is center of me, being and taking me away from the now, which is things are happening, or making me conjure up things for the future as it's never happened yet, and I'm being busy and distracted with that. So, if that question, if that answer helps you to see that when you are focused on the now, everything becomes more clear, your actions and your life becomes more complete, and it would be with the reality and actuality of life, then you will be able to understand what life is all about better. I don't know if I did answer your question or not, but it's something for you to think about. Okay.